team, we're going to stand together and fight this disease. I come this way before, travel through that open door. Circumstances navigated the path, and life happened all so fast. No, it got lonely sometimes. You see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm awfully, I still land on my feet. I know I can stay, cause I know my time. I never. I'm destined to be. DB, sing this with us, DB. Hey! Life for play with no rehearsal. DB, sing this with us. Cause the devil is a liar. Hey. I'm telling you the truth. Hey. It's all in what you do. Hey. The things you gotta do. Hey. Rob, here we go. Oh no, it's the next verse, Rob. My bad, Rob. Just shine. Yeah. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. For the children, it's a giving. Shout out to Rob. It's my personal statement. Like amazing. Oh, you a couple seconds behind. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lack it. While cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. So you gotta give back, give love. Giving something away. Never all right, what up, Rob? DB in the house. DB, OG, Sergeant Dorsey. What's up, DB? Oh, DB got a shout out. King Israel, what it do? Eric got a shout out to. Oh, you gonna have motherfuckers going damn in the comments section. He said hi to me. Triple OG, where your high at? Oh shit, she moving in slow motion. She walking down the hill, DB. What up, Lonnie? Drew Titan, yo. What's up, y'all, man? I appreciate everybody in here, man. Y'all know it's the Sergeant Dorsey hour. Y'all know what it is. Mark Wunderlich, man. You know, she ain't a guest no more. She's the Sergeant Charge, Andrew Charles. What's up, Rob? What's up, Bumpy? Man, I appreciate everybody coming in here, Wonder X, man. And yeah, we're gonna get started with the show, man. I appreciate everybody coming in here, man. And Sergeant Dorsey, as you know, is always a pleasure to have you on. And this is your show, man. I'm the co-host tonight. A lot to talk about, baby.
I know, right? I've been chomping at the bit all day. You know, we talked earlier, and so it took everything in me not to have that conversation with you then that we're going to have tonight. So I am fired up and ready to go. What's up, family?
Yeah, you sound like Barack Obama. Fired up, ready to go.
Yeah.
I remember saying that stuff, man. But how was your week, by the way? Because we see shifts once every 7 days. Everything good?
Yeah, I know. Wow. Yeah, let's see. Everything's good. Week was good. Quiet. You know, I'm social distancing safely. Yeah, everything's good. But listen, there's a lot going on, and should I start off with my personal little thing I got going? So let me say this. Because you guys, I have people ask me all the time, you know, where are the good cops? You know, they think I'm the only one. And so I've been saying, you know, that there's others out there who talk like me. And so I am just wired for sound, because tomorrow on my own YouTube channel, Sergeant Dorsey Speaks, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to bring on some of my colleagues. And I am just so excited to introduce them and share them with all of you, so you guys can see that there are many like me who speak the way that I do, who look like I do, who are really about that life. And so tomorrow night, I'm going to have a brother on from East Orange, New Jersey. He's a retired sergeant. His name is DeLacy Davis, now Dr. DeLacy Davis. And he and I first crossed paths about 3 or 4 years ago. And we were brought together by another brother who I will also introduce on the following week. His name is Reddit Hudson. He's a former St. Louis, Missouri police officer. Got to know him because of the whole, Darren Wilson, Mike Brown situation, and Reddit Hudson was very, very vocal about that police department and what was going on there in Ferguson. And so I'm just really excited. Hope you guys will check me out tomorrow. Sergeant Dorsey Speaks at 3 p.m. Pacific and 6 p.m. on the East Coast. So can I just say what's up to DB and Mr. 65-year-old Grant? And
He blushing. You made that nigga blush.
and then Eric, I know I got some future husbands. We're gonna have to see if we can work out one of those situations where I'll be the wife and I'll have 3 or 4 husbands, right?
Hey.
Flip it up.
You know how to spell Muhammad backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if they really about that life, right?
Oh, about it. Hey. Yeah. You want to start, since you mentioned Darren Wilson, you want to start there, or you want to start what happened in LA with the tattoos?
No, let's go ahead and start with Ferguson and the fact that district attorney out there, Wesley Bell, I think is his name. I guess folks had, great hopes, and I always say all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Now I'm not saying that Wesley ain't down. I'm just saying Wesley has disappointed some folks because he has decided that there's not enough evidence, I guess, for him to prosecute Darren Wilson in the murder of Mike Brown. And so I think it's kind of, whack. I think he should let a jury decide. Why are you making this decision? And I understand that prosecutors generally only want to win, right? They only want to take winners to court. But this was so controversial and such a big deal. And that family has been waiting now for 6 years for some kind of redress. And for him to take the coward's way out and say, yeah, not so much, I'm not really feeling it, I think is fucked up. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
It's wrong.
It's far beyond bad. And you know what I found bad is that when we do the elections, we like, oh yeah, Wesley. Oh, we got one. We finally got one that's gonna side with us, And lo and behold, man, he rather save his job than fight for what he's supposed to be in there doing. It's just sad what's happened to Mike Brown and Alton Sterling and those young kids, man. I don't understand. If someone shoots somebody in a normal life, they go before someone. No matter if it's an accident, no matter if it's on purpose, they have to go before someone and they have to decide whether, or matter of fact, the charges get brought in, and I don't understand the world that we live in where police officers 9 out of 10 times, 95 out of 10 times won't be brought to justice. And it's an actual, I think it's an immediate crime if there's no imminent danger when a police officer shoots his gun, because there's so many layers to it, like before the actual engagement, there's conversation because you guys have tools to interact with the civilian, whether it's to a microphone, and we have obviously protocol, but it's just amazing that there aren't any like tangible footsteps that police officers have to follow or should follow. As a matter of fact, is there? Go ahead.
It's kind of changing a little bit in that, last year, Governor Newsom signed AB 392, which was the bill that changed when officers here in California can use deadly force. And all they really did was just tweak a word from, you can't shoot if it's reasonable, it has to be necessary. But in so doing, what they did make changes to was what led up to the shooting, because I often say poor tactics. In other words, everything that I did just before I pulled the trigger, poor tactics can lead to poor shootings. And so now that's going to be taken into consideration. Whereas before, it was what was in the officer's mind at that moment that he actually pulled the trigger, he or she pulled the trigger. And so now an officer has to say, okay, so just before you pull the trigger, what scared you? You know what I mean? Because I get you said you were scared when you pulled the trigger, but you had, like you said, we had dialogue in the case of Willie McCoy in Vallejo, California. They spent 18 minutes outside of the car while he was having a medical episode, according to his family, passed out, having a seizure or something. And for 18 minutes, they were discussing what they were going to do if and when he ever came to. And we know that they shot into the car about 55 times, something crazy. But none of that conversation for those 18 minutes really played into that whole shooting scenario because AB 392 hadn't passed. So that's a good thing, but there's so much more left to do.
Mm. Yeah, it's just disheartening that police officers are the judge and the jury, you know what I mean? And they get paid for it. And correct me if I'm wrong, do Darren Wilson get to go right back to his job?
Well, you know what happened with Darren Wilson? He got that gift of resignation, right?
Mhm.
They didn't fire him. He
Mhm.
just resigned. He just left.
Mhm.
And for all we know, he could be on another department somewhere, doing that thing that he does so well. And that's why, again, there's legislation right now afoot here in California that has to do with decertifying a police officer,
Mhm.
because I think I might have mentioned this here, but I'll say it again, like you need a license to drive a car. Well, we kind of need a license to be a police officer, a certificate, and that certificate is issued through post, peace officer standard and training. And so if you don't have a post certificate, you can't be a peace officer. And so there is a senator in Gardena, California, Stephen Bradford, I think is his name,
Mhm.
who's trying to move
Yep.
some legislation forward that will decertify officers who are found guilty of serious misconduct or criminal activity so that they can't resign before the police department has an opportunity to fire you. Because when a police department decides to fire you, there's some steps that they have to go through. And before they go through those steps, I just go down to personnel and I just retire or resign. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But without that certification, I can't resign from LAPD and then go over to Hawthorne. I'm asked out now. I got to go over to Taco Bell and get a
I
job.
got it. Now, now they actually didn't the DOJ go into St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken?
DOJ is looking at, they did look at some stuff going on and they made some determinations. But again, you know, it's nice when they come out with a report and they tell us shit's fucked up, but we already knew that. And that's why I say, you know, when you talk about all of the machinations that they're speaking about nationally, reform, creating a national database, defunding police, and all of that, it doesn't do anything to deal with the culture.
Sure,
That's the problem.
sure. And the culture changing the culture would be what?
Changing the
And that's
mindset of the officers. You got to get in the officer's head. You got to hire people who aren't either coming there with bias, because we know
mhm,
some do. You don't
yeah,
catch them in the background. And if you identify them, if they show you who they are, if they're Derek Chauvin and they get involved in 18 personnel complaints, you need to deal with them around 6 or 7 or 2 or 3. You know what I mean? Why wait until they have an opportunity to live to offend again, or in this case, to kill again?
Mm. Now that the DA didn't pick up this case, what can the family do moving forward?
I think that's the end of the line in Missouri. You know, we had this conversation with the Connecticut attorney representing the family of Mubarak Sullivan, and it's a little different. They have a very different, unique situation over there. But the prosecutor, like here in Los Angeles, DA Jackie Lacey, the
Mhm,
buck stops with her. She decides who she wants to file charges on, and we'll have to have a conversation about her in a minute.
uh-huh,
But once the district attorney says, I don't want to prosecute,
mm.
you can't make them. I can't make them. There's nobody who oversees them, who could tap them on the shoulder and say, no, DA, really, this is a good case. You need to go ahead and press those charges. So that's a wrap. It's over.
So it's just pressure from the public. So let's say, not let's just say, so Darren Wilson is getting off. The DA said he is, right? The only thing that can reopen the case is just pressure from the public, basically.
If there was something that they could show to this district attorney, Wesley Bell, that would get him to say, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I missed that. And so that changes everything in my mind. I don't see that happening because he's come forward now and said that there's insufficient evidence to pursue this case. Now, what I'm told is, because I do have some friends there on the ground. As a matter of fact, the gentleman that I mentioned, Reddit Hudson, shared with me that he thought it was a little political in that the district attorney, Wesley Bell, instead of coming in brand new, fresh eyes, do his own investigation, because he has his own investigators who have peace officer powers, and they can subpoena folks and interview folks. Instead of him coming in and saying, okay, let me get my own team to look at this. It's reported to me that Wesley Bell relied on the information that was already there. So he looked at the stuff that McCullough had, and we already know McCullough didn't really have an appetite to pursue Darren Wilson. So you would not find it hard to believe that the information that was in his investigation would leave you with a lot of holes. That's what Wesley Bell relied on. He didn't do his own investigation. So when he looked at that, of course, it was insufficient, because we know McCullough didn't want to charge Darren Wilson. We know that when he did take it to a grand jury, he stacked the grand jury with folks who were known rednecks and KKK. So why Wesley Bell? That, as I'm saying it to you, that makes me wonder, what's up with you, Wesley? How come you didn't do your own investigation, dude? That would be like, that's like investigation 101, right? If I come to you, Fred, and I say a thing, you might be like, okay, I hear you, but let me just check it out for myself, right?
Yes.
He didn't check it out for himself. And so that leaves me to wonder, what's up, Wesley?
What's up, Wesley? KF Harris has a question for you.
How come cops can't personally get sued? Can that be changed? Because of qualified immunity. And so there's a lot of talk about qualified immunity so that officers can be sued personally for malfeasance. And I think, I say it all the time, that if an officer was personally sued, this would stop yesterday. Because what can happen if the family of Mike Brown haven't already done so, if they haven't pursued a civil settlement, they can then go after the city for civil damages, because they aren't going to get any redress criminally. And we know that cities don't have a problem throwing buckets of money at families. They'll give you 2.3, 6.4, 1.2 million dollars. It's not department money, it's not officer money, it's taxpayer money. It's money that you guys pay. And so, yeah, they'll open up your pockets and reach in and take a couple of dollars from each of you and give it to the family. But what did that officer learn? What did Darren Wilson learn? What did they do to deter that bad behavior? What do other officers on that police department learn about what not to do, because they don't want to be subjected to that same kind of pressure? They learn nothing. And so they do the same thing.
Yeah, I find that that's a great parallel to what's going on in Louisville with Breonna Taylor, with Mr. Cameron, like, how can, like, oh man. Why is that, you think? Why? I mean, outside of political reasons and wanting to advance your political career, why is it so challenging for someone just to be a quote unquote maverick and balance the spreadsheet?
In terms of what, other officers? You mean, what do you mean by be a maverick?
Officers and the civilian's family, like the victim, why is that so challenging? It seemed like the easiest thing to do is say, you know what? This man was killed in the public. There's a video out there. Why don't we just put it in the hands of 12 people?
I think part of the issue is, and this is just how I feel personally, I think that police chiefs, first of all, you never ever hear them admit guilt. You never hear them say, I mean, I hate to say never, but I could probably count on one hand when a police chief said, yeah, that right there should never have happened, and we are going to take care of it, right? They usually say, well, it looked bad, I know, or they ultimately settle with the family, but they don't admit guilt in that settlement, right? And so I think what happens is that police chiefs, I think, when they raise their hand and take that oath, I think they swear to the department. And so the onus is on them to protect that entity. So I'm not going to, as a police chief, ever admit that anybody on my department did something wrong, because I understand civil liability is coming and I want to minimize and mitigate that civil liability. I know we're going to have to pay. It's just a matter of how much. So I've got to be mindful as a police chief with regards to what it is that I say publicly, because I don't want you to take that sound bite into a courtroom and instead of getting 1 million, you get 60 million. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha. And that's a great segue into Terrence Bailey asked a question, but a great segue. But before that, he says, I'll go back to this. He wanted to say good evening first to you.
Oh,
Good
hey,
evening,
Terrence.
Quinn.
Hey, Terrence.
Hey, I'm glad he's super chatting instead of doing them past the pauses, though. You know what I mean? Keep on super chatting, Terrence. Keep on super chat. Hey, have you heard of the California sheriff gang members with the skull tattoos who intimidate other officers and commit batteries on the public? You want to segue into that? Tell me what.
So yeah, so we were going to talk a little bit about that, and it's not unique to the sheriff's department. I mean, listen, it's not unique to just California. These are police departments across the nation who are engaged in this kind of activity, and we know this to be true because we see them acting like gangsters. And so some of them, you know, because cops are slippery and they're savvy, they find ways to communicate that to one another, you know, that they're like-minded, that I'm down with the bullshit, you know, that if we on a skirmish line, you can trust me to, you know, hit somebody over the head with a flashlight too. And so now we know, because there are whistleblowers, the good cops within the sheriff's department, within the Pasadena Police Department, who have been talking about the kinds of symbols, insignia, in this case, cartoon characters that they use under the guise of, oh no, it's just, you know, a bunch of guys getting together and, you know, and sharing a little camaraderie and bonding. And the way we do that is we all wear this Punisher character, which is a Marvel cartoon character. It's being flown on a flag in the gym, the police gym on the Pasadena Police Department, this Punisher emblem. And so I shared, and we'll show you tonight what that looks like. And now we know that there's a LA County deputy sheriff who is being ostracized and retaliated against because he said, hey, there are actually gangs, wholesale, real deal gangs on the LA County Sheriff's Department. And there's someone who corroborated this, who has done a study and identified 17 different gangs, the executioners, I know I wrote that down and I told you, Fred, but I can't remember all of the names, but there's 17 of them on the sheriff's department. And so what the sheriffs do, LA County, what they do is they go get tattoos, they get tatted up, and they get a AK-47 and a skull, and that identifies them as members of the different gangs. Now, LA County Sheriff's has different police stations, like LAPD has different stations. So depending on what station it is, you might be the executioner, or you might belong to another gang name that I can't tell you right now. But they all have tattoos to identify themselves as being part of this thing. And listen, this is not just the deputies. It's reported that, and there's an LA Times article that speaks to this, but it's reported that the undersheriff, before they got rid of Baca, his name was Tanaka, Paul Tanaka. He was a member of the executioners. He had ink. And so when you got the undersheriff with a tat for a gang, you know it's part of the system. It's top down. And it's allowed, it's condoned, and now Villanueva's on TV clutching his pearls and acting like, you know, this ain't a real thing. It don't happen.
Yeah.
I think somebody need to check Villanueva. They need to pull his damn shirt up and take a look at his chest or his calves and see what's up, right? It's been reported that deputies who work in LA County men's jail, because they're not out in the street, so the way they get their ink, the way they earn their ink is they beat people up in the jail. They break bones. If you break a bone for an inmate, then you get to get a tat. Like gangsters get a teardrop. You kill somebody, you get a teardrop. If you're a deputy sheriff, you break a bone, you get to get a skull. or AK-47. It's crazy.
Is that what's in this article? I didn't read the article. Is that what's in this? Wow. And and they have come to conclusion that there's a direct parallel with these points in these tattoos.
Absolutely. It encourages aggression. It encourages abuse. And again, this is not unique to the sheriff's department. There's another article about an LAPD sergeant who is a member of the SWAT team, right? Very elite. Don't get no more Billy Badass than being on SWAT on the LAPD. This guy's a sergeant. He is 25 years on the department, I think 11 years in SWAT. And he has seen enough stuff to know that he's seen enough. And so he reported that, what's going on in SWAT is not right. And that there are also officers who have a certain mentality. Now, they aren't talking about LAPD officers tatting up, but what they say is they call themselves the SWAT mafia. And what happens in the LAPD SWAT unit, these mafia guys kind of run shit. They decide who's going to come in to the SWAT unit. And I can remember when I was on LAPD, if you wanted to work, because SWAT is part of Metropolitan Division. Within Metro Division, you got SWAT, you got K9, you got the horse unit. So you've got all these little units within Metropolitan Division, SWAT being the most elite within that unit. And I can remember, hearing from guys that, because I wanted to be in SWAT. I'm not SWAT, but I wanted to be in Metro because I'm kind of a tomboy and they didn't have any girls and I wanted to be the first. And anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I know that they would put your picture up and then the guys within the unit would decide whether or not they would let you come in. They'd either turn your picture upside down or they would leave it right side up, depending on who you were connected to, whether or not you had a sponsor. And so this same kind of mentality, according to this sergeant, is still going on within the SWAT unit. And so if you're not willing to crack heads, kick ass, and take names, which is what they say on LAPD, then they don't want you in SWAT. They call you a coward or they try to run you out if you don't have that same mindset. It's a thing and it's going on. And like I said, everybody's clutching their pearls. Mike Moore don't know what to do. They act like, this is news to them that SWAT and, well, not necessarily SWAT because they just do call outs, but certainly the officers who work within Metropolitan Division who get to roam free all over the city. I call them elephant hunters. And they're the ones who, will be in Newton Division today and Southwest Division tomorrow and Van Nuys the next day. And it's a kick-ass, take name kind of unit. And that's the history, that's the culture, that's the way it's always been. And those are the guys who are making these traffic stops, racial profiling. Those are the guys that are putting folks in this gang unit, in the gang system, right? In the gang database. They just got caught doing that. But this is nothing new.
Jesus. Shout out to Terrence. He said, forget me. Forget you, Fred. Reggie Owens had a question. Yeah, Reggie Owens. How about the current badge of honor clique in Vallejo?
Same thing. Yeah. Cops. Now, what's going on in Vallejo is that the cops kill somebody. And listen, I'm close to the family of Willie McCoy in Vallejo, California, who was shot and killed in the Taco Bell. And I have gone up and spoke and met with that family and done some panels with his brothers. And they have dubbed Fatal 14. There's 14 officers on the Vallejo Police Department, and I think it's a small department anyway, but there's 14 that are just cutting up. And these 14 are just killing folks left and right. Now, there's plenty of officers who've been in shootings, but these 14 have been in multiple shootings. And what it's reported is that when you get in a shooting on the Vallejo Police Department, when you kill somebody, you bend the tip of your badge. So that's how they identify amongst themselves, a little secret thing that nobody else would know but us, right? You kill somebody, bend the tip of your badge. Now, there's one dude right now who just killed a young man by the name of Sean Monterosa in Vallejo, California. I would love to see this jackass's badge because he didn't kill 4 people in 3 years. And I'm just wondering, how the hell can you be on a department and have that many kills that quickly? And oh, by the way, Vallejo PD has a black police chief. How does that happen?
Can the police chief reprimand police officers, or he has to go through the union?
Police chief is the only person who can administer discipline. The only person, or not administer discipline. The
So
police chief is like a king.
so it goes basically from firing to hiring. Police chief can do anything. Suspend you for a day, suspend you for 30 days.
Or not.
So what's the
Or not.
sergeant's role within the precinct? Or do we call it precincts out here? What do we call them? Divisions,
We
right?
call them divisions.
Divisions, yeah. So what's the
So
chief
as a patrol sergeant,
Mhm.
my job is to monitor, evaluate, observe officers that are under my command. I'm responsible for a den of sergeants, maybe 6 or 7. Every watch, every shift, every watch will have maybe 6 or 7 sergeants, and we will be assigned 6 or 7 officers, depending on how many are on that shift. And then we have a lieutenant who sits in the station, who is the watch commander, the person that's in charge of everyone working that shift. And then we have a captain, 2 of them, a patrol captain who's in charge of patrol, me, the lieutenant, and my officers. And then we have another captain, the captain 3, who is in charge of the entire building, the patrol officers as well as the detectives in that building. So that's kind of the rank structure.
Mm. Did you ever come close to firing your gun as a police officer?
Well, what's close? I mean, I pulled it out a lot. I pointed it at folks, but I never shot anybody. I never had to. Now, that's not to say that I didn't have people, who ran from me or people who wanted to fight me. I will fight you, Fred. Know that. I will fight you. I look like this, but I'll fight you.
Uh-huh.
But at the end of the day, I don't want to fight you. I want you to come on, go to jail with me. And so, I talk a lot of shit. You don't know what I'm going to do. I pull out my little black leather gloves and put them on, weighing 118 pounds back then, right? What the hell am I really going to do, right?
Mhm.
But I pull out my little black leather gloves and I talk a gang of shit. And then at the end of the day, I just really want you to just knock it off and turn around and put your hands behind your back, because I don't want to go to the 13th floor. I'm going to be there for 3-4 hours fucking around with you. So if I talk to you like that, you're still going to be mad at me. But if you say, all right, and turn around, I'm happy, because that's what I wanted. I wanted you to comply. I don't want to hurt you. And I don't want you to hurt me.
Mm-hmm. And
So DB said, fight.
Fight me, please.
You want me to fight him? Okay, DB, careful what you ask for, sir.
The reason why I asked that is because there's a control mechanism that I think police officer has, and it seemed like it's been really reckless the last 2 or 3 years. Once a month we hear a police officer killing, and these are just black people that they're killing. It's Indians and Asians and Mexicans and white people that are dying at the hands of police officers as well. When you look back at your 20-year career, do you like moments where you would have been justified? I mean, obviously you be about a shit. You could be justified pulling out 4 guns, but I'm just saying, like, in the moments where you like, wow, that guy could have got, or that woman could have gotten it.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to share one of them? Can you?
Yeah. I'm sure. Let's see. I can't think of something exactly. Yeah, it's been a minute, but I've arrested people with a gun, right? So I'm dealing with somebody. I'm searching him, and then I find out that he's got a gun. I step back. I holler gun. I pull mine out, and then thankfully, they didn't do whatever that next thing was that they were thinking about doing, right? So it never got to a use of force, or one of the things, and I like to think that I was well trained. I had good, training partners and officers, And I can generally tell when somebody about to do some dumb shit, right? So I never waited until it was out of control. And that's what I talk about, the tactics that lead to a situation where now you have to use force. If I stop you, Fred,
Mm-hmm.
and I can tell you looking around and you acting what we call hinky, I'm like, okay, so he about to do some stupid shit. So before we even get there, let me just get on my radio and get about 6 big old people who look like you, because I know I can't deal with you, just you and me and my partner, right? So if I'm thinking I'm gonna have to fight this Negro, let me just get on my radio right now and get 6 other officers over here, because maybe that will make him think differently. And while I'm waiting on the 6 officers, I'm talking a lot of shit, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna fuck you all the way up, whether you believe it or not, right? And I'm saying whatever I have to say. If I have to cuss, then that's what I do. Because at the end of the day, what I want you to do is not that thing you're thinking about. And I threaten you with great bodily harm. I tell you the people who I'm calling over here are going to beat the living shit out of you. I'm going to take you to the 13th floor. And anybody who's been in the system knows what happens when you go to the 13th floor, right? That's the jail ward. The only reason you go to the 13th floor is because you didn't have your ass handed to you. And so I threaten you with that. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. I will if you make me. But at the end of the day, I just want you to comply. So I do everything that I can to put myself in the best position of advantage so that it never gets to that. And if I call you a motherfucker or something else and I hurt your feelings, I might apologize later or not. But at the end of the day, you are not going to the hospital. You're going to go to jail. I'm going to go home. And that's my goal. I want to go home.
Sergeant Dorsey, you get your nails done. Sergeant Dorsey, this is towards the nails and the salon for giving us this information every week. We appreciate you, your work, your strength, African sister. Please don't stop doing what you're doing.
Oh,
get loud,
agitate, what's up?
Agitate. Yeah, Sergeant Dorsey, get your super chat. Okay. So y'all know. All right.
Thank you, Terrence. That's sweet. I appreciate that.
You gonna get your nails done, hair done. What do he say? Everything. Hey, what does Drake say? Everything what? Fancy. You fancy, huh? You fancy. Huh?
I could be fancy.
but it just amazed me because I that visual of Philando Castillo when he says I have a gun permit, right? If I'm not mistaken, is that the Philando Castillo? They all right. It was 2 of them back-to-back days. So and he says, I do have a gun on me. I have that little nervous son of a biscuit just shot him. And that's why it's like we're such at a disadvantage, and it shouldn't be that, you know what I mean?
Well, that's why, I say, and I drive the young people crazy sometimes because I say comply. Just do what the fuck they say. I don't guarantee you if you comply, because we've seen people comply and still get hurt. So I can't guarantee you that if you do everything an officer says, you'll be okay. Because at the end of the day, I don't know who stopped you. I don't know if this person is batshit crazy or not. I don't know if it's Brian Encinia who stopped Sandra Bland and got pissed off after he asked her, you seem kind of mad. What's your problem? And she's like, you're damn right. Who wouldn't be mad? Or if you stop by Michael Schlager, who, when Walter Scott ran, he shot him in the back 8 times and then tried to say he took his taser. Or Ray Tenzing, who shot Sam DuBose because he didn't have a plate on his car and he drove off for whatever reason. He didn't want a ticket or whatever. He drove off. So I can't guarantee you that if you do everything right, that you still won't get shot. But we know for sure, if you give these officers, some of them, an opportunity, if you give them a reason, they will kill you. And when they kill you, there's only one version to tell. And that's the one they craft. That's the one they craft. That's the one that was created when Garrett Roth shot Rayshard Brooks in the back. They tried to say he was doing this and he was doing that. We don't know what he intended to do because you shot and killed him. He's not here to tell us. No, dude, I was just fucking with you. I just wanted to see if you were going to chase me. Because listen, Running is what suspects do. People don't want to go to jail. I get that. I get that. And so when somebody runs from me, I got two choices. I get ready to get some exercise, or I get to let you go. I don't get to shoot you because I can't fucking catch you. Are you kidding me? But that's what they do. And then they say that that person who's now deceased did something that scared them, or they intended to do something. There was a officer who shot and killed a man who was in his car recently, and I'm trying to think of the name. There's so much that goes on, but he said the reason that he shot and killed this guy, Vallejo, Sean Monterosa. Sean Monterosa got in his car and was about to drive off, and the officer shot and killed him. And he really didn't know why he shot and killed him, other than he said, what they said was, we thought he had a gun. There was another gentleman who was shot and killed in his car because the officer said, well, if he drove off, he was going to hurt somebody. So shooting him and having him dead behind the wheel is safer. It makes no sense. But this is what they do. This is what they say. And so that's why if you just shut up, let them do whatever it is that they're going to do, and then let them get the fuck on. Get you a good ass attorney and go ahead and get that 2.3 million taxpayer dollars that they will give you. Like the ladies who were stopped. We've seen it on the video, right? The 5 women, the 2 sisters and the 3 young girls at the mall. Police thought they were in a stolen car, and they proned them out. Thankfully, they didn't kill anybody, but they're gonna pay those girls. And now the police chief in Aurora, Colorado is like, oh, I'm sorry. Our officers really shouldn't have done that. I mean, we get to prone people out if it's a felony stop and it's a stolen car, but you should have some common damn sense. I mean, if I pull over a car and there's a damn 6-year-old in there, am I gonna lay her out on the ground? Like the 2 ladies who got stopped in DC because the Secret Service said that they thought they were in some kind of a wanted vehicle, and they cuffed toddlers and left them in the back of the car for 45 minutes. It makes no sense.
God, that's tough to digest. That 6-year-old girl is that's gonna bother her.
That baby will never forget that.
Yeah.
And that family, people, some people say, oh, they just want to get paid. Well, you should be compensated when somebody wrongs you that way, because we don't know how this is going to affect any of them long term. And so you should be compensated. You should not be able to get away with it. But that officer should also bear the brunt of that. Now, the female chief up in Colorado who just got hired says that I want to do what I can to make this right. Heffa, make this right by firing everybody who was there, because there were some female officers on that video.
Wow.
And you got female officers who don't even intervene, who don't say, hey guys, hold up, these are ladies, we don't need to lay them out, these are babies, you don't need to cuff a teenage girl. So they'll live to do this again.
Sheesh. And I purposely don't watch those videos because it's just agitating. I saw it on my timeline, but I didn't watch it. I saw people on the ground, and I just didn't watch it.
And when you see all of this going on, in the midst of all that's going on, that should let you know this shit is not about to change anytime soon. These officers are not concerned. They're not thinking twice. They're not worrying. They're not wondering about how they conduct themselves. The officer in Vallejo shot and killed Sean Monterosa and said, oh shit, what did we do? Why did I shoot him? And his partner said, oh, don't worry about it. This happens all the time. We'll figure something out.
And the irony about the whole thing is it was a stolen motorcycle, if I'm not mistaken.
From another state.
How do you justify that?
From another state. And so the officers were given information, right? Since we're coming, everybody would have it. The officers were given some information. Now, everything that they tell us doesn't necessarily always pan out to be true. So that's why you have to kind of use your own common sense. You have to think, is this reasonable to expect that this happened? Or why is there an urgency to act on it? Because in that moment that you wait, you might find out, oh shit, that's from Tennessee and we in New York, or that's a motorcycle and this is a SUV.
Mm.
But if there's no consequence, if I can just fuck up, shoot somebody, hurt somebody, lay them out on the ground, and I know my chief is gonna say, "Oh, sorry, my bad. You know, we didn't know, we got it wrong," and that's all that happens, I'm gonna do that shit again and again and again.
Mm. God damn. Feel free to call in, guys. The phone lines are open, man. And man, that's so sobering that they can just pull over a family and say, "Oh, we thought you were the person driving the motorcycle."
They didn't even take a moment to verify that it was a motorcycle that was legally stolen, and these people are in an SUV. They just and you know, this is kind of concerning to me because this was one of those scanner things where the police are just driving around and they just scan your plate real quick.
Yeah.
And then they get some information and then they act on it. They don't even bother to see if the information is correct.
We got our first caller. 323. What's up?
Fred, what's the deal, man?
Hey, what's up? How you feel?
I'm feeling good, man. This is Rob. I'm calling from LA, Los Angeles, California.
What's up, man? What it do?
I ain't really got no questions, but this is something I looked at. I'm kind of like a little bit legal savvy. Did a lot of time in prison. And what I think the problem is, right, we got 2 penal codes in the state of California. And I believe that's, let me see. I think that's 832. You got one that say that when resisting arrest, that when the officers suspect that a person has committed a crime, committed a felony, or is about to commit a felony, and they resist arrest or flee, they can use any force necessary to capture you. And then we have one that's called justifiable homicide by a police officer that says the same thing, that if they have reasons suspicious that you committed a crime, that they can use deadly force to capture you. So I think in order for us to get by, that those 2 penal codes need to be amended. I think they need to be amended because I've been telling people like once you flee, whether you have a weapon or not, they can shoot you down and capture you based off of these 2 penal codes. And I think that I have actually witnessed it in my neighborhood that when the police stop you, they have throwaway guns, something they call throwaway guns or pellet guns. And these guns, in my opinion, is to plant it on a person. If they shoot and kill you, that they say, hey, he's reaching for a gun. He's reaching for his waistband. Now, in all 50 states, they have some type of law or penal code that is similar to this. So I think this is what they getting them off. And I think we need to appeal these penal codes right here. And that's just what I wanted to call what I needed to say.
Cheryl?
So we can't shoot you. We can't shoot a fleeing felon. We can't shoot you just because you run. Certainly can't shoot you in the back. But there is a thing that deals with resisting, and that's the go-to thing that police officers like to use anytime you don't, air quote, comply, right? Anytime you don't do what they say. And what that can mean is something as simple as if I ask you for your driver's license in a traffic stop and you say, I don't have to give it to you. Well, see, that's a problem because I just asked you for your driver's license. I have a right to do it legally. You don't have a right to refuse. And so when you do, you are now interfering with my investigation. What ultimately happens is it's a male officer. He's going to get pissed off and he's going to grab you out the car and you guys are going to get into a big fight. And then he's going to charge you with assaulting him. It's a situation that you can't win, but it's a ticky-tack charge that officers like to use. They know ultimately when it gets to the district attorney, it'll be a reject because they'll say there's really not enough evidence to show this person was refusing to cooperate or interfering with your investigation. But you've already been inconvenienced. You've already been arrested. Your car's probably already been towed. So that's why I say it's just best to just let them hurry along, do what they're going to do so that you can survive that encounter and walk away. It's too easy for an officer to hurt you, ultimately kill you, and you don't have an opportunity to refute what they say because you're not here.
Right. All right. I have a question too. I mean, like, what type of what can we do to stop this? To, like, you know what I'm saying, to stop what's happening in America with them shooting us down, whether we have a weapon or not have a weapon. Be like, I don't understand that, because your Second Amendment says you can have a weapon, and that's just a misdemeanor. If I get caught without a weapon without a permit, it's a misdemeanor in the court of law. So why does that justify a death sentence by them shooting?
Well, I'm not saying that it's right. So, but it happens, right? And so if you understand that that's a possibility, why even set yourself up for that? Why even put your family through having to fight this fight now that you're gone, and they're going to drag your name through the mud, and they're going to say all of these things that we hear them say when they try to dirty up a victim and make it seem like somehow they deserved what it is that happened to them. And so how do we fix it? You got to vote. You got to vote. Every police chief serves at the pleasure of the elected mayor. Every district attorney who doesn't bring criminal charges against a police officer who uses deadly force is elected. Jackie Lacey right now is fighting for her political life in Los Angeles. She's never charged one police officer, well, at least until a month ago, with any violation, with any loss of life. And so if you're bothered by it, don't come on here and just fuss about it. Let your voice be heard at the ballot box.
Right, you're correct about that. I do that, but we also need the numbers. We also need numbers as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, so one thing is not going to fix it. You know, I'm not saying I got one suggestion, and if you just do this, everything will be all right. I can't promise you that either. You know, the other thing that I say that people, get bothered by is get on the police department, join. We need to be on there. They're recruiting KKK. So, when you say, not you personally, sir, but when folks like me who look like me say, fuck the police, that is exactly what white folks want you to say, because they don't want you on the department. And so if you're not there, you can't tell somebody who's about to do something that don't make no sense to somebody who could be your brother, your uncle, your dad. You can't stop it. You can't get Derek Chauvin off of George Floyd's neck if you're not there. So we need to get on these police departments. And I know that they don't make it easy for us to get on. I'm having conversations right now with LAPD Police Chief Michael Moore. He pretends to want to recruit Blacks. We'll see. I called him out on a radio station interview and said, hey, sir, if you really want to get Black folks on, why don't you take me with you? Let me talk to them instead of you pretending to talk to them.
Right. And Fred, I thank you for having me. I've been watching you for a long time, the LDBC. This is my first time ever getting in the call, man. I thank you for your platform. Just keep doing what you're doing. And for the Sergeant Queen, man, you gorgeous as hell. I had text that you gorgeous as hell. And stay blessed, stay Black, and also protect yourself. When you get on these platforms and you speak the truth like you've been doing, you become a target. So protect yourself, all right? Peace and blessings.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You seem to know a lot about what you speak, sir. You seem to know what you speak of. Thank you.
Have a good night. All right, Fred.
Appreciate you, homie.
Yes, sir.
You fine as hell. And Gregory X say the same goddamn thing. I see you have that fine young popo on again. Bravo, Fred. Every Wednesday, Gregory X, we need that $5 super chat. Every Wednesday, all right? She going to be here every Wednesday till she get tired of looking at me. Yeah, so that's what it is, man. We genuinely appreciate you guys staying engaged with the show, man, because it's very informative to have someone who has the experience and the expertise of all these questions that we've had. Clarence Ward. What's up, Clarence? Hey, what do you think of when you think of the name Clarence? Sergeant Dorsey.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I think about Mod Squad. Am I dating myself?
No, I think of Clarence. You stroke it to the east and you stroke it to the when I think of Clarence, man. Hey, so but yeah, man, he spoke of some the penal code. Did you know of those penal codes that he was speaking of?
Well, I think he may have gotten the numbers wrong, but I mean, I know that there used to be a penal code section that would allow us to shoot fleeing felons, but then that changed. And so it's like anything else, if you want change, you gotta ask for it, you gotta demand it, you gotta get your legislators up in Sacramento involved in some of this stuff to change laws. But more importantly, I think as we talk about getting legislators involved, we need to talk about these police unions in California and other places who throw tremendous amounts of funds towards campaigns for politicians. Jackie Lacey, I don't live in LA, but I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm just saying, Jackie Lacey, our police union, the Los Angeles Police Protective League, has given her, I saw in an article, at least once $2 million towards her campaign. And so, you know, the Police Protective League they want her to be the next DA again, for real, for real. $2 million to her campaign. Why is that? Why do you think the Police Protective League wants Jackie Lacey to get another term as the district attorney in Los Angeles? Is it because Jackie Lacey doesn't file charges on police officers who kill Black and brown folks? Could that have something to do with it?
How does anything police gets to donate money to the DA race? You know, it seems like they're going to be friends for a long time, you know. I mean,
it would seem like a conflict of interest. And so, you know, that's, you know, instead of people, you know, hollering about defunding the police, because that's not going to happen, maybe you ought to talk about how do we keep these unions from giving politicians money? And then you ask a politician to create legislation that will restrict what police can do. Do you think that politician is going to be for you or the person that just put $2 million in their campaign fund?
Facts. So we can. It's like, Jesus Christ. Where can we find a breath of fresh air? You know, we got to see if we can get Jackie Lacey's the person she's running against home. You know, I mean, maybe we can try.
There's a couple of different people that she's running against. One is a former LAPD officer, and he's not liked. His name is Gascon. I think it's George Gascon. He's a former LAPD officer. He left LAPD. He went to San Francisco. He was the police chief there, and he was trying to do the right thing. The officers in San Francisco, because they rowdy, they ran him out as the police chief. So then he went to the district attorney's office in Frisco, and now he's back down here. Now, he's a progressive guy. I've actually had some interaction and dealings with him. I think he wants to do the right thing, you know, but you never know when these guys actually get in office what they're going to do, and we know what they say. I think he has a sufficient enough record in terms of trying to rein in errant officers that certainly giving him a look wouldn't hurt, because we already know for real that Jackie Lacey is not going to do anything. And so, by the way, you know, her husband has just got charged with
I saw that,
some misdemeanor charges for pointing his gun at folks when they showed up at his house at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, he'll get a slap on the wrist because he doesn't have a criminal history, I'm assuming, and you know, he's an old guy, and he's going to say he was scared to death and protecting his family. She might even get some sympathy votes because of all that she's going through right now with these criminal charges facing her husband, and that might get her back in as DA. If that happens, LA don't have nothing to complain about. Y'all did it. Y'all let it happen.
Damn. Now that's all of LA County, correct? So it goes as far south.
She's LA City. She's the district attorney for the city and county.
So that goes as far as like before Thousand Oaks, right? That cutoff line.
Sheesh. LA City, LA County.
Even when you find a glimpse of hope, like it's like, damn, it's so many damn loopholes that we discussed last Wednesday. So many loopholes that we got to jump through just to even have a chance at this, you know?
And so if you know that, you know, then just roll up your sleeves and listen. If this shit was easy, then everybody would do it. Like anything in life, right? If it's easy, everybody does it. So they put these obstacles and barriers in our way because somebody gonna say, I had enough, I'm tired. Like the lawsuit thing that we talked about, you know, they drag on these lawsuits in hopes of you getting tired and frustrated and, you know, want to give up, run out of money if you're being charged by an attorney. And It's meant to do what it does. The system does what it's designed to do. You just got to be stubborn. You got to be honorary. You got to be, you know what? Fuck this. Let's go. That's what you need to be.
It seemed like in America with so much organization, well, just on the outside looking in, it seemed like it's very organized. Like it seemed like it should be like a checklist. Maybe that takes 30 days or 15 days, but I don't know, man. Like
I think we as a people just don't pay attention. If you look at things on the national level and you look at what's going on right now on a national level, Democrats versus GOP. I think Democrats tend to want to play nice, and the GOP they are just ruthless. They will do anything. They don't care who's watching them. I mean, look at this guy in the White House. He just says whatever the fuck he wants. They don't even have to be real. He just says it. And he don't care who agrees, who disagrees. He don't care if you know it's a lie. I mean, just today on the news, they were talking about the census, for instance, and how they want to shut it down so that they can't count all of the votes. I mean, all of the people in the census, because if the numbers are such that Trump has an opportunity to change the way the Senate is situated, that means he could skew it in the way of more senators on the GOP side versus the Democratic side. And so, these are things that they have been working on for a long time. They're talking about defunding or taking money away from the post office to slow down the mail so that you can't do mail-in ballots. This isn't stuff that they woke up last week thinking about. These are things that they have been planning and putting into place for a long, long time. And so we have to have that kind of dedication and devotion and get started now, knowing we may not really see the results, the fruits of our labor for a couple of years. But if you wait a couple of years to start, then you're that further behind, I think.
Yeah, we got a beam in. Are you ready for your pedicure and manicure?
I'm ready for whatever they want to give me.
Okay.
I'm a thrill seeker.
Oh shit.
Who's that?
Man, she opened up the window and the door, y'all.
I'm not walking through it.
Come on in. Come on in.
Come on in, Opportunity. What's up, TV?
How you doing?
Everything
What's
good?
up, man?
He's talking to you, Cheryl.
Oh, I'm good. How are you? Who am I talking to?
It's Terrence.
Hey, Terrence. What's up?
How you doing, sir?
It's like Cheers.
Are you the guy that's going to take me to get my manicure and pedicure?
No, I'm not going to take you, but Freddie gave you the money.
Okay.
I'm beaming in because I wanted to ask, why is it that police officers they have a tendency of when they rough somebody up, pull somebody out of the car, or whatever the circumstances are, whether it's a domestic thing or whatever, and they rough a person up, and if the person doesn't resist, if the officer gets physical, then the quote unquote assailant gets charged with assaulting a police officer.
That's just what they do. That's kind of the go-to tactic that works. I talk about it all the time. I say, if a police officer puts their hands on you, you are going to jail. Because, back in the day when I, first joined LAPD and dinosaurs roamed the earth, you could get your ass kicked and then they just leave you. They just leave you in a puddle of blood or piss or whatever on the side of the road. That was how they got down back then. But it's not that way anymore. It's morphed into, if I put hands on you, then I'm going to arrest you for something. I'm going to make something up, but I'm going to arrest you and I'm going to take you to jail. And the DA will look at my arrest report when they come back to work and they'll say, you don't have sufficient cause for this charge. I really don't care. I already knew I didn't have probable cause for the arrest, but I could not just beat your ass and leave you and then have you come into the station with a broken nose and a bloody eye and tell the watch commander, Officer Dorsey just beat my ass and left me over on the corner of King and Dinker. So I've got to tell the story. And the way I tell the story is I arrest you and I write an arrest report. And then I say why your nose was broken, why your head is bloody. And see, great deference is given to my version because after all, I'm the police. I wouldn't lie.
Of course not. But my next question is, a lot of people think or believe that if you're being arrested and it's and the person who's being arrested knows it to be an unlawful arrest, then they have the right to resist. Now, at one point I believe the same thing. I went back and I researched it, and I saw that was a part of the old colonial law or something, the old British law or whatever. But then it was changed or amended or whatever into what we call now, I guess you consider it like now the new American constitutional law or whatever, where if an officer is arresting you or whatever, you don't have the right to resist. You just have to go along with it and you settle it in court or whatever. Even if you know that this guy's doing some bull crap or whatever, he's roughing you up, you got to just deal with it. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, on the moral issue of that.
Well, it's not right. It's not right. But it happens. And so if you know that this is the play that they use, that they go to, then you want to put yourself in the best position you can to be safe. I say don't hold court curbside. Let them do what they're going to do. If they're going to write you a ticket, if they're going to take you to jail, because know this, right or wrong, once an officer tells you that you're going to jail, you're going to jail. Now, how you go is going to be up to you at that point, right or wrong. But when an officer tells you, if I tell you, sir, you're going to jail, you will. I can take you down to Parker Center and book you in, or I'm going to take you down to the 13th floor because you're going to need to see a doctor, sir. But you are going to jail tonight. Now, that's not right, but we know that that happens.
Well, that's something that I just wanted to hear you say so everybody else could hear you say it. Because there's a lot of people that believe that, okay, hey, you know what? If this dude arrested me or whoever's arrested me, and they, you know, and it's a BS charge, you know, we're going to scrap this out on the side of the road, whatever. But that's not how it works. You know, maybe about 150 years ago or 200 years ago, but you'd have went to trial. But even then, you would have went to trial. So it's not that way. It's less now. There's less of a curve now. If he's got the wrong person, you just go and say and prove that you're the wrong person.
And not only that, but I say, why have your family be the beneficiary of their wrongdoing? Because you're gone, right? So I say survive. I say let them act a damn fool. You know, I mean, I hesitate to say this in a public forum, but I wish a police officer would lay me out on the concrete like they did those women. You know, I wish a police officer would just come up and just knock the fuck out of me, because I'm going to get a good ass attorney, and I know that they've got lots of money to give me. And so I'm going to sue the shit out of them. And that's what I suggest for anybody. This family, these mothers with these children, I pray to my Jesus that they don't let Aurora off with an apology, because Aurora knows they fucked all the way up. And they know that. And that's why they're like, oh, I am so sorry. We're going to look at changing the policy. They talking about doing everything but getting rid of those officers who did that old dumb shit, because they'll do it again. And so these people need to get enough money from Aurora, Colorado, that their babies can go to whatever university they want to when they grow up. And both of those women should be able to go and get a mansion and a yacht when they get done.
The only thing is people understand is money. Once you start hitting them in their pocket, that's when they start learning. They don't learn from
Qualified
beatings.
immunity.
They don't learn from, see, black folk, you get their attention from blood. White folk, you get their attention in their pocket.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to fight to get officers who misbehave to have to suffer some of that financial burden. Because police officers are no different than anyone else. They live, we live, paycheck to paycheck. And especially the men, because they buy Sea-Doos and trailers and trucks and all of that fancy stuff. And if they knew that a percent, because you're not going to get their pension, that's not going to happen. But if they knew they might have to sell their house, if they knew that they might have to start offloading some stuff, this would quit. They would stop.
Or if they had to spend money on some high dollar insurance.
I don't know that insurance would necessarily stop an officer from misbehaving, because it's just like car insurance. If you go out and you get into a wreck, are you going to necessarily, go get different car insurance, or is AAA going to drop you? I don't know.
Well, I'm saying if the insurance cost enough and you screwed up and there was a deductible, and there was a high enough deductible, oh yeah, that's a deterrent. That's money.
Well, I don't say no to anything. I don't say no to anything, but I know the officer needs to be personally involved in that situation.
Yeah. On that, I'm gonna clear the line. Thank you, Sergeant.
Appreciate you, Terrence.
Hey, thanks, Fred.
All the time, dog. All the time. Hey, she's back. Now you back in color. You back in HD.
Yeah, something happened there. My camera did something stupid, so I had to do something. I'm back.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta play some music.
Block for me, black man. No, they trying to stretch us.
Hey, it's a party. It's a party. It's a party. It's a party.
I like it. I like it. What's up? Who's that?
This is.
How you doing? How you doing, sister? I'm usually working when you're on, so I missed a lot of shows that you're on. But I want to first say that you are extremely gorgeous. I love your crown, the way your crown is. Oh my goodness, I'm captivated.
Aw. You single?
Yeah. Yes.
It's a leap year. Be careful.
Like you say, be careful what you ask for. Okay. But I wanted to expound on some of the things that you were saying. I wanted to get your point of view, on this, whether you agree or it just could happen. I'm not one for the funding, the police, like everybody is saying. I'm more for it needs to be a total reconstruction. It needs to be totally dismantled and reconstructed. The thing is that how do you, one of the things you were saying was to join the force, but how do you go into somewhere that's corrupted? It's just like if you build a house and it's got a bad foundation, just moving into the house with the admiration of repairing this foundation of the house is not going to fix the foundation. You have to totally tear the house down, rebuild the foundation, and then build a new house. You understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but when you understand that's not going to happen, I mean, realistically, it's not going to happen, right? So, you just have to, those who have a desire to want to change this from the inside out, who are able to get on, because I know that they don't make it easy. And someone said earlier that they had applied 15 years ago and they were disqualified. I know that goes on, because I have young men reaching out to me all the time saying, they asking me how many damn bubbles in a bar of soap. Another conversation that I'm having with the LAPD police chief. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a Zoom conference on tomorrow with the captain over personnel division, Captain Aaron McCraney, who looks like me and says he's interested in hiring more blacks. We'll see. I'm gonna see if he's really about that. But the thing of it is that when I joined LAPD, and I didn't grow up wanting to be the police, I just needed a good paying job. But what I did know is because I was a mother with a son, I was not going to be treating people in a way that was contrary to who I am, number one, and contrary to what was going on in my community. And I wouldn't want anyone to do it to my son. So I made up my mind. This is who I am. I knew when I joined LAPD, not really knowing what to expect, I knew that I was a Black woman.
Right.
I never needed them to remind me of that. And my problems on the LAPD, I talk about it in my autobiography, and some of you have already purchased it. Thank you for that. I talk about my issues. My issues were immediate. They let me know in case I came there thinking I was something special. Heifer, not today. And so I just had to just turtle up and just decide, fuck it, we're gonna fight. Let's fight. And I had quit a job to become a police officer. So I knew if this shit doesn't work, I don't have anywhere to go. I couldn't go back to my old job. Number one, I wasn't making enough money. Number two, I had quit. So I was determined to get to where I needed to get off probation and get vested. And then once I got off probation, 18 months, ooh-wee.
Right. Now, you know, in 2008, the FBI released a report stating that police departments nationwide were riddled with white supremacist groups. And you mentioned it also that the DOJ just recently confirmed that with a report they released. Now, you know, with dealing with that type of climate, you know, you join the force. Now you have a situation where you could possibly be another Christopher Darden, because you're looking at all of this corruption and you're wanting to do something about it. And you're trying to do something about it, and they're labeling you as a bad cop or troublemaker, you know. And now you're frustrated, you know. No one's listening to you, you know, and you go off the deep end, you know, more so. And you know, Christopher Darden's case. I mean, is that not the fact?
Well, see, here's the deal. Because I didn't know Christopher Dorner. I wish I did. Because what I would have told Christopher Dorner is, if they don't like you, who gives a fuck? You're not there to be liked. I wasn't there to be liked. And they didn't like me. And they didn't make any bones about not liking me. They didn't try to hide it. I had partners who I worked with who wouldn't even talk to me for the entire shift. They wouldn't talk to me. And I was like, cool, works for me. Don't say shit to me. I don't say shit to you. I wasn't there to be liked, right?
Right.
But I knew on the days, and they weren't sure what to make of me. So I knew on the days, particularly once I got off probation, when you work with me, because you don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, you don't know what I'm thinking. On the days you work with me, you're going to be on your best behavior, because you don't know what I'm going to do. You don't know what I will tell if I see it. So you don't do it in front of me. And so it was not easy for me. I'm not pretending like it was. This ain't for everybody. Be clear. It's not for everybody. I worked with a white boy, and I've talked about it in other places. His name is Douglas Iverson, and some of you might know the story. Douglas Iverson was a white officer who hated blacks, and he wound up shooting and killing a tow truck driver named John Daniels on Crenshaw and Florence, right? I worked with Doug Iverson. Doug Iverson was fucking with me in the station because he didn't like me.
Wow.
And I wound up testifying in court against Douglas Iverson for the murder of John Daniels. He went to court 3 times. That was not an easy thing to do. And white boys didn't like me, but I had no fucks to give because I wasn't there to be liked. If they don't want me to come for drinks after work, good, because I don't drink.
Right, right.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to decide who you going to be. Are you here to do the right thing? Are you here to make sure that people are treated the right way? Or are you here to be liked? Are you here to make friends? Are you here to whatever? I wasn't there for that. And being a female, I think, made it easier for me as well, because I don't want to hang out with the guys. I'm not one of you. I'm here to do a job, and then I go home. And when I go home, fuck LAPD. I like LAPD every 2 weeks, every Wednesday, every other Wednesday.
Right.
And that was my mindset. And now when people say I'm anti-police, I say, no, I'm not anti-police. Trust me when I tell you, I love LAPD every month when that pension check comes, every month.
Right. You know, I thought about when I was at work, I think it was last week, I rolled past a unit and they had the brothers sitting on the corner, they sitting on the curb. And I thought about you when I saw that. And, you know, now that I'm licensed to carry, you know, I recognize the climate that we're in. So I'm beginning to now study a lot of the laws, and I make sure that whenever I'm pulled over, that I hand them my CHL along with my license, even if I don't have my gun with me, because I do recognize the climate that we're in. You know, can we fix this with just voting? Because Jackie Lacey, she's not the only. We have Jackie Lacey's in Philadelphia, in Chicago, in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all have those Jackie Lacey's that look like us, you know, but are not like us, and all they're going to do is be those token images that's going to just support the corrupted policy that's already there. So, how much more can we do other than getting involved in local elections, you know, to get these people out of office? But then are we putting another one right in to just continue to do the same thing?
Well, you know, all politics are local, right? And so I think the biggest impact is going to be on that local level. And so, you know, then the goal becomes to find people who think like you, who look like you, who have an interest, right? There's certainly a lot of young people who are going to college now, who are taking courses in criminal justice and things that are relative to law enforcement. Maybe they never really thought about it. Maybe they never saw anybody who looked like me who encouraged them to do that. And so it's not one thing that's going to fix this, but certainly when you have an elected official, they understand one thing and one thing only, and that's votes. And so you get them out and you replace them with somebody who thinks like you, who values the same things that you do, and who is going to pay attention to those quality of life issues. And so, you know, I know that this is not anything unique to LA. You know, my struggles on the LAPD were not unique to me. There's a video going viral right now on Facebook. I saw it of a young sister who's a customs officer, and I don't know what state she was in, and she was stopped on her way to work in uniform. In uniform, and the white boy was like, oh, you think you something special because you federal. And she goes, no, I'm not just federal, I was actually state before, so I know the law, and I know that you stopped me for some bullshit. But see, that's an example. If you saw that video, you see they gave her 2 tickets. Why? Because the white boy understood she knows what I know, and so I can't just fuck with her on the side of the road and let her go. So I got to write this heifer a ticket for something, so that I can justify what it is that I just did to her. Now, the ticket may get canceled, but he had to do something. And I hope whatever agency he works for, that I hope this sister does more than just let them cancel that ticket. I hope she makes a big deal about it. I know she's still active and probably is a little concerned about what might happen in terms of retaliation, because it's real. But at the same time, you got to decide, you know, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
That's very true. That's very true.
Who are you? What, you know, what are you willing to give up?
That's right.
What are you willing to do without? You know, certainly I could have had, you know, I was so lucky in that there were a lot of brothers on the department when I came on who looked out for me. You know, I could have been their little sister. And so, you know, they were looking out for me. And then as more blacks started coming on, now I have peers who are looking out for me. So although white boys tried to mess with me, every now and again, a brother would step up and say, not this one.
Beautiful. Right, right.
Not this one. But if you guys are not there, then when I come along, who's helping me? Who's looking out for me?
Yeah. That's, I see your point. I definitely see your point. I want to ask you before I go.
To marry you?
I know.
I just like to make you blush. Go ahead.
That, we can talk about that. But how do I get a how can I my copy that I plan on buying? How do I get it autographed personally by you?
Oh, go to my website. Anyone who wants an autographed copy of my autobiography, go to sgtcheryldorsey.com, and then I get that notification directly, and I'll send you a copy signed with my ring size.
Oh, okay, cool. That's what's up. Okay. You're talking to me.
Okay, take good care.
Appreciate you.
Right.
He a player. Eric is a player. I respect that. Hey, don't forget Sergeant Dorsey, man. And we have a $10. We have a $10 Cash App. Let me get this. We genuinely appreciate you. We appreciate you, Larry. I don't know why I won't let you do it, but Larry says, for I can't send it on YouTube. Thank you. He just wanted to say thank you. We appreciate.
Oh, no worries.
Appreciate you. Yeah, you kind of hot in here. You kind of hot in here, Miss Dorsey.
Y'all gonna keep me coming back Air Wednesday. Air Wednesday, yeah.
Talk about your book for a second, if you don't mind. If you, you know another thing too, your subscribers don't know the phone number, so you probably got to type it in the chat. I'm not sure if they want to call in.
Oh, let's see. How do I do that? Let me write the phone number down because I haven't had a chance to talk to him. Subbies, I see you, but I'm over here. I can't really multitask. I'm good, but I'm not that good yet. Let me tell you, Subbies, how to call in. I'm gonna type the number.
Hesitation.
It's a real nigga celebration. This is Reggie Owens on the line, and he gonna tell you again that you're fine. Hey, Fred out here. Hey, what's up?
Yes, indeed. She already knows. She know it. And she exudes that confidence, so she already know what it is. But how you doing, Sergeant Dorsey?
I'm doing well. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, this is Reggie. This is Reggie Owens.
Hey, Reggie. What's up?
What's up? I just wanted to kind of rehash what you were speaking about when it comes down to how this is a fight, and fights aren't meant to be easy. Getting to the voting booths, applying for these departments, and also with that in perspective, like when I'm listening to it, it put me in a mindset of where Black folks early on in this year, when these things are starting to happen about putting demands on our votes, and that's a way people can go over. Black folks got to come with a 20-year plan. These things ain't no overnight successes. They happen kind of in a domino effect, and we got to have this plan from today going on for 20 years, instilling this into our children as well. Hitting these voting booths is critical. Paying attention who's running for office. Jackie Lacey needing to be removed, getting her out of there, giving the next person an opportunity, putting the demands on that person, being present during campaigns, during whenever they're making public addresses, and come collectively. Then pushing in relatives. If we see little kids and they're speaking of, and that's the other thing that I see that lacks from back when I was a kid, where some people ask, what do you want to be? I think people need to get back to doing that. You have kids who identify they want to be a cop, prepare and put them in them positions. That's the plan Black folks need. Black folks need to have a plan and not to be afraid of running from the system, because this is an American system that when you have power, you stand together, it has to treat you right. America will act blindly, but it has its rules to how it conducts itself. Black folks haven't paid attention to shit. We have trusted other people to represent us, and it's not going to happen. It's time for Black folks to start studying the laws, studying the ins and outs to this American system. Make this American system work for you. Buck up against folks who want to mistreat you. But I think that's the way that we're going to get it. We got to definitely start paying attention to things, holding people accountable when their departments won't hold them accountable. And every time, even in our individual lives, you check stuff at the door when it comes up, when it smells a mess. And also like what you were doing, you see police encounters, observe what's going on. Be on standby, be an observer to whatever activity is going to happen. And that may be a deterrent for cops that get out there and want to act amok.
Yeah, and I think it's important that we start reaching our young people early. And that's why, when I had an opportunity to speak, particularly with the LAPD Police Chief, Mike Moore, I was willing to do that because it's not like LAPD don't know that I'm out here. I've been doing this since 2013. I didn't just start speaking, right? I started speaking in 2013, and then and I started because of Christopher Dorner, because I knew that LAPD was going to kill him when they found him, and I wanted people to know that Christopher wasn't making that up. I wanted people to know that what he complained about was real because I had experienced it. But I also wanted folks to know that there's a better way, there's a different way. A Christopher Dorner, I wish I could have got to him and said, dude, hold up. There is life after this fucked up department. Trust me when I tell you, I'm here to be evidence of that. And so you don't have to do this thing that you're thinking about doing. There's another way. And I say, hit them in the pocketbook. That's the only thing that, bureaucracies understand, is when you hit them in the pocketbook, and they are willing. They have shown us they're willing to give us money when they kill our loved ones. They're willing to not change policies substantively. And so I'm happy to have an opportunity to have the ear finally of the LAPD police chief, because they've been watching and monitoring and listening to me. And now that they see me on CNN and other places on a regular basis, in the barbershop, and they know that I have a platform and people are listening. And so, if you are interested in recruiting Black folks, then why not have a Black person who resonates with that community speak to that community? 77th Division don't want to hear from Mike Moore. Southeast Division don't want to hear from Mike Moore. Maybe he think they want to hear from Amata Tingarides since they made her a deputy chief. I don't know. Sister girl. And I don't know if you guys even know that story and who she is. Do you know who Amata Tingarides is, Fred? Have we talked about that?
No, we have not. We have not.
So Amata Tingarides is a Black woman that he just promoted. LAPD Police Chief Mike Moore just promoted to deputy chief. Now this lady went from a Captain 1. We have Captain 2, Captain 3, Commander, and then deputy chief rank. He promoted her from Captain 1 to deputy chief. That's never happened in the history of ever. Why that's important is because Amata Tingarides is a Black woman, the wife of a white man, love who you love, but she's the wife of Phil Tingarides. Phil Tingarides is the captain who sat on the administrative hearing for Christopher Dorner. I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. I'm just saying. That's who Mike Moore promoted. And I don't know if he promoted her to make the natives think that somehow she thought like them because she looks like them, but I offered myself up to LAPD Chief Mike Moore and said, hey, if you really want to promote some Blacks, if you want us on your department, then let me help you. Let me talk to folks. Let me talk to young Black kids who are only hearing FTP at the house, so that we could start changing their mindset, because now, because of all of the things that have been happening nationally, so many young people have got to the point where they don't really think this is a viable occupation for them. I want to change that mindset and encourage them to get on so that they can stop the kind of atrocities that we are seeing happen day in and day out, because I don't see police officers or police chiefs having an appetite to not kill us on their own. We have to be on these police departments.
Reg?
Hell, absolutely. And then the one thing, like when you were speaking about wanting to speak with Officer Dorner, I almost had an incident where I was about to Officer Dorner somebody I was working.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's all good.
Go ahead.
But dealing, working, I worked for this like working in print. So I worked on a printing press. From a neighbor got me the job, but I'm not knowing he working there. He know what kind of person I'm in. I don't play with redneck type people. The mindset, a lot of people in there was NASCAR type type folks. I'm going to school at the time, working on a degree. I'm working in there. So in the midst of doing this job, 12-hour job, they wanted to pull overtime. I'm like, I ain't with none of this overtime stuff. I got school to go to. I got reports and stuff I do, but constantly dealing with this harassment. But it was like, where I nut up on these cats, like I don't care if you was a manager, whatever you was, you ain't about to come at me like that. But I had one incident where this dude I worked on the press with, I can tell the story because nothing came out of it. But it took, I followed this dude to his house to learn where he was, because I was going to run up in his house. He wasn't going to be at work one of these next days. But it took for one of the older cats who I worked in there with, who see what the hell was going on, and seen the way I was getting down, because I was always letting these fools know, like, I don't care what you are, I'll punch you out on this machine. But with the one dude, when I start falling back, because I know where you live at, I'm gonna run up in your house when you park in your car, and that's what it's gonna go down to. But it just took to have a talk that this guy still lives to this day. But where I had ended up handling this thing through an HR process to start checking these fools, and it caused several of these people within this company get demoted. But that's when I started just learning how to play it more from a political standpoint, rather than a standpoint of, you know, based on, you can be from the environment where this stuff is instilled in you. I have a right mind to where I can think in the right set of mind, but dealing under these circumstances, because I don't play with white racism, I address it. But it almost turned into where they probably wouldn't even found out, but I would have ended up taking this guy's life based on the type of crap that my neighbor, who have been working in this company for about 20 years, to where the black folks who worked in this company, they just played along to get along. And when I seen that going in there, it disgusted me that black folks were allowing these people to act like that. But when I got in there, it started to change a lot. But it almost changed into where it ended up becoming almost something very violent. But that's all I want to say. But it takes for our older folks, people with more tenure within companies, to pull people aside and speak to them and give them the way, the way of the world wherever they're working at, of how to go about dealing with stuff. But that's all I want. I love when you're on the show. But thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, indeed.
So you were talking about your book. You want to? Oh, wait. 65-year-old G. He said he not to be outdone. Not to be outdone, man. He's speaking in metaphors. He got double ones and double zeros. And Marvin Gaye's frame of mind. Oh shit.
Donald need to quit playing with me, is what he needs to quit doing. Do size 7. Don't play with me. Size 7.
Well, wait 1 second. Let me read this super chat. In my Marvin Gaye frame of mind, I want you the right way. I want you, and I want you to want me. What's that ring size? I'm just serious.
Size 7, sir.
Size 7.
Don't play with me.
Don't play. Don't play. Don't play. She's from LA. Don't play.
I call you bluff. Don't play with me.
I call you bluff. I call you bluff so we can get all that stuff. Hey, Fred with the ABC rhymes. What's up, 408?
What up, Barbershop Fred? How you doing, homie?
I'm feeling great, man. What you got?
Hey, man, first time caller. I've been wanting to call into your show for a while, man, but I got a opportunity where I'm just driving around right now listening to you, so I figured I'd give a call. And
appreciate
I just wanted to give you a shout out and say thank you, bro. You know, I've been listening to your YouTube channel, homie, for like a little while now. I used to listen to it a lot more when you did the interviews with the boxers at the live events and shit.
Yes.
But I've been listening to you a lot recently too, man. And I've been going through a lot of trials and just different shit this year, you know. Just to make a long story short, I spoke a lot of evil and I spoke a lot of death for a long time, you know what I mean? And, we walk around and we think we're invincible. We think we could do whatever we want, man. And I hit a lot of stuff this year, from tumors to different health issues. And, I've been coming back, the good thing about the Lord is you can always come back to him. You know what I mean? And when I was going through a lot of my shit, man, your song in particular, the one that you play in your intro, "The Devil Is a Lie," that shit got me through a lot of stuff, man. So I really appreciate that song. And I just wanted to call in and let you know, keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep spreading the message, and thanks for producing that shit, man.
Oh, that's love, homie. And continue. I'm glad you're healing too. I'm glad you're healing. Your family in the world needs you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything's going good, man. And just keep doing your thing. And good job to you and your guests. You guys are doing a good show and shit. Mm-hmm. And just keep doing your thing, man. Appreciate you. Much love.
Oh, that's love. Did you get a ring size, by the way?
What was that? Oh, I don't think my fiance appreciate that one, but
oh, you not Muslim? No pork on your fork?
nah.
We appreciate you, dog, for real, man. And it comes from the depths of me. And that song represents everyone that's in this chat. You know what I mean? It's for us all. So yeah.
Yeah, man, that's that song right there, and a lot of the scripture and word from Dr. Tony Evans. He's a good sermon, a good preacher on YouTube. You know, that shit, I listen to it a lot in the hospitals, and you know, that shit got me through. So just much love from the Bay Area, from San Jose, and keep doing your thing, man. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate you, homie.
Take good care.
Because the devil is a lie. I'm telling you the truth.
So, hey, Fred, you wanted to talk about something. What were we supposed to talk about?
Oh man, I don't know, man.
Oh, the car cop, the motor officer that you got.
Filmed. Yeah.
You want to tell me about that?
Yeah. Okay, so you want me to, I'll tell you real quick before DB comes on and wrecks the shot. Oh, we got time. We got 20 minutes. I'm looking at 1:46 and I'm thinking it's 10:46. Hey, so anyways, I'm leaving my house and I'm going down Slauson, and you're real familiar with like going up Slauson to Overhill from Crenshaw. You real familiar with that area? And I noticed like cops in the middle of the street just pulling people over. You over there. I'm like, what the hell is this? Because Overhill, it's a steep incline, right? And I'm like, you're giving people a ticket for going 10 miles over the speed limit, maybe 5 miles over the speed limit, but they're just accelerating through the green light and just, cruising through the city. And I'm like, this is kind of unjust. So I'm going to C.R.A.S.H. C.R.A.S.H is the teriyaki place have you been there, Slauson and Overhill?
No.
Okay,
but I have been to Orleans and York or whatever.
Oh yeah, Orleans and York, yeah. That they got some good bread, don't they?
Yeah,
good bread. And so coincidentally, the cop that is pulling people over pulls someone over in the C.R.A.S.H parking lot on a motorcycle, and I saw them at the bottom of the hill, and I see him pulling people over in C.R.A.S.H. So I said, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm yelling at this nigga. I'm like, yeah. I'm basically saying you're wrong for it because I saw you at the bottom of the hill. And you know what he said? He unclips his gun. He says, I feel threatened. And I said, oh shit. But I got his nameplate, right? As I was talking, that's how I knew his name in the videos. People were like, how the hell you know his name? Because I had a 5-minute dialogue with him at the top of the hill. So what I did was I left. It was Saturday, so I left a message with the watch commander, and they have yet to get back to me. But I'm gonna go up there probably next Monday. I'm gonna go up there with someone. I need someone to go with me just so we all can leave and they can do their job. But I just want to file a report, and I wanted to ask you what's illegal and illegal about speed stops.
So here's the deal. So let me tell you, never make a phone call because it's too easy to fool you away. Mm-hmm. You know, when you make a phone call, police departments are adverse to publicity. You know, they have a Twitter account. LAPD Captain Michael Moore has a Twitter account. You need to just don't fuck around with it, Fred. You need to just go to the top. Captain LAPD Chief Michael Moore. Write a letter. Whenever you are grieved, you write a letter. You write a letter to that officer's division of assignment. Find out. I imagine if it's over there, what is it, 77 division he works? So you just call over to 77th and ask, what's the name of who's the area captain, the person in charge of the building, and who's the patrol captain? You want both names because there's a captain 1 who's over patrol and a captain 3 who's over the building. You want both names. Mm-hmm. You also want to call and get the name to every member of the police commission. That's our independent civilian review board. You want to call and get the name of the inspector general, the person who is supposed to investigate complaints, unbiased, unrelated to the department. You want to write a letter. And you want to send that letter to all of those people, the captains, the inspector general, every member of the police commission. And you want to tell them what happened and you want to know how they're going to adjudicate it. Say that word. It's a police word. They get nervous when you use their words because then they know, oh shit, he didn't talk to somebody. I want to know how it's adjudicated. And for good measure, call and get the telephone number to the commanding officer over internal affairs. Include that person in the letter as well. And when you write the letter, CC everybody. So everybody knows who got that letter. Because one person can make it go away. If you just send it to me, I could lose it. Shit, I didn't. I'm sorry, sir. Did you write me a letter because I didn't get it? But if you write that to 6, 7, 12 people, they're going to get on the phone and they're going to call and they're going to say, I got this letter. Captain, did you get it? Captain Internal Affairs, did you get it? Police Commission, did you get it? Inspector General, did you get this letter? What are we going to do with this Negro? Fred. Who is Fred? Do y'all know Fred? Something will get done. Because if he did that to you, that means that's how he gets down. He does that all the time.
I saw them pull over 40 people in an hour.
And the fact that he's doing that, you know, now we all know that there's a thing because it's been talked about. Police officers have sued LAPD for having a quota, right? You got to write so many tickets a day. And so maybe this is one of these gung-ho nuts who likes writing tickets and he just decided I'm gonna just sit here because most people, if an officer blows a whistle at you or toots his horn and says pull over, most people will because they follow authority. And so most people will just pull over and they'll wait in line until, you know, he calls number 6 and issues you a ticket and number 7. And you see what I'm saying? But tactically, that's stupid. It makes no sense. And probably somewhere, if someone knew that that was going on, it would be a problem. Was this a motor officer?
Yeah, motor.
Okay, so he's on a motorcycle, so he doesn't work 77th. He works South Traffic Division. South Traffic Division used to be in the Baldwin Hills Mall. I don't know if they're still there anymore. It's a different division, South Traffic.
Okay, I'll definitely.
Motorcycle officers come from traffic divisions, and they too will have a captain. So don't bother 77th.
Okay, that's
South Traffic.
South Traffic, would that be King and Dinker, your stomping grounds? You know,
that's Southwest Division. South Traffic is a specific division, and that's where all of the motor officers work and the officers who handle accidents. They all come out of that division.
Gotcha.
So that's where that motor officer works. He doesn't work 77th. He doesn't work Southeast. He comes from his own division. So you want to, but still tell Mike Moore, still tell the police commission, still tell internal affairs, because that sounds like some bullshit to me.
Yeah.
But you need to write a letter.
Okay.
Don't make a phone call. Don't even waste your time going down there. Write a letter.
Really?
Write a letter.
And email.
That gets their attention.
And email it.
And email, but write a letter. That gets their attention. And if you don't have a Twitter account, you need to create one and go on Twitter and tweet to Mike Moore and say, hey, Captain, Chief, you know you got motor officers out of South Traffic Division down here doing this. Figure out how to say that in 120 letters.
I have the links too. I have the links
on Twitter. Yeah, do that on Twitter.
Okay.
He'll get back to you.
I will do that.
And if he doesn't get back to you, let me know and I'll give you his phone number. How about that? Because that's what I do.
How about that? How about that? Do we have someone on the line? Wait a minute. Do we have someone on the line? No. Okay. I'm like, damn, because that was the last call. How did it go with the phone call? You left us hanging with the cliff notes. You said you're going to talk to them next week.
Yeah. So we had the phone call. It was very nice. And he had some heavy hitters on the phone call. So he understands who I am, right? He had, in addition to the chief, there was a deputy chief, Beatrice Gramala. There was his commander, Ruby Flores, his captain, Aaron McCraney. All of these people are in charge of recruitment. And they all have a part to play somehow. So tomorrow, Captain McCraney invited me to participate in a Zoom interview, a Zoom conference tomorrow morning with some community folks. who also are interested in recruitment efforts. And he's going to be telling them what LAPD is doing. He'll bring his smoke machine because he'll be blowing a lot of that up their ass. And I'll be on the call. And I'm just curious to see what it is that they're going to say and how involved they are going to allow me to be in this process. I made myself available. I said that I'm here to help and use me in a nice way. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, South Traffic Division, right?
South Traffic.
Yeah. That's
so the city of Los Angeles is divided into 4 bureaus. Central Bureau is downtown, and within Central Bureau, there's 5 divisions. West Bureau, that's over on the west side. South Bureau is the hood. And Valley Bureau is everything San Fernando and further west. So each bureau has a traffic division, and the motor officers come out of that division and they handle that area. So you want South Traffic.
I'm looking at it's on 41st and Crenshaw. That's real close. Okay.
They used to be right there in the Crenshaw Mall. You know, they used to have a substation in there. But I don't know where they're physically housed right now. But that's who you want. The captain. You want the name of the captain.
I'll take care of that this week.
And if that don't work, then we'll call Mike.
Okay, we'll call Mike as well. Call my bluff.
Donald sugar free, and dude, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Hey, he'll beam in on you in a heartbeat. Hey, call my bluff. Single all my life.
If he been single all his life, what's up with that? What's up with that? Now you want to get married, Donald? Is that what you want to do, sir?
He got a slush fund.
Okay. Well, I'm here to help him with it.
Donald got a slush fund. Hey, wow.
I'm here to help him with
it. Man, well, you got to stay and find out. DB, what's up? Call me now, DB. Call me now. And I appreciate everyone on your channel coming in, man. Tori, Mr. J, Croc, AV Studio, J8 cheating on us tonight. He over there with you. It's okay. It's all love over there. If y'all don't want to watch it on our stream, y'all can go to Sergeant Dorsey stream and subscribe to her channel. William Taylor, Timothy Moore, Witness, appreciate you. Angela, I said Angela. Man, I've been misspelling words all day. I was sounding like Floyd Mayweather earlier, man. Tito, hey, what was that word I screwed up on in the chat, dog? Dan, Mally, we appreciate you tuning in, man. Madam, we appreciate you. What word did I screw up over there? I said atrocities. I was calling it something else. I don't know. I'm
so glad we figured this out and we were able to be in 2 places at once. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we got it.
It worked out.
Yeah, it was a few echoes, but it catches up within 3 or 4 seconds. So
it's cool to have guests on and let them share their stories. But can I just say I just like it when it's me and you?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We got one more guest next Wednesday.
I just want you all to myself.
Okay, well, Triple has something to say about that. And DB is taking his time calling. But in the meantime, in between time, she by myself. We together. Hey, aristocrat. I said aristocrat instead of what?
Atrocity. Oh, Jesus. How did you do that?
Because I just saw the A. I just saw the A in 9 letters. I'm like, oh, aristocrat. You know what I mean? I would. Oh man, atrocity. Man, I don't know how I got aristocrat from atrocities. That shit was so funny. I was like, man, this gonna be a meme somewhere, dog. This gonna be a meme. Anyway, it's okay. It's all good.
Can I just say thank you to Dre Finest? I appreciate you, sir. That was very kind of you for the niceties. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, that DB not in here. Where DB at? DB
he was here earlier.
Yeah, I saw him. He'll come back in. He know what time it is. We probably called him in a little bit early. So how's the rest of your week look?
Well, I've got something super secret going on Friday. I can't talk about it, but once I can, I'll share that with you. I got a couple of things going on that, I hate when they involve me in filming stuff and then they swear me to secrecy because I get so excited I want to share. But I'll just say I just need 2 or 3 of you to stand in agreement. Because I've got some opportunities coming my way. And so as soon as they allow me to speak on it, I will.
Hey, Terrence Bailey said you have to put Frederick Douglass' face on one of those nails.
Well, I'm gonna let my hair down. When I let my hair down, I do kind of look like Frederick Douglass. So.
How about that? How about that? How about that? And look what and look who we saw crawling underneath the house, man. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, family? No, since I'm abstinent, you know what I mean. I have to practice these abstinence exercises. So I had to do a little meditation real quick. So I had to break away for a few minutes. But
oh yeah, you got to pray 5 times a day, right?
Yeah, but it's not that though. This is just for since I don't believe in premarital sex, so I just got to make sure I stay sacred and clean. So I was just focusing on that for a moment. But I'm here, man. I'm here, and I was listening in. And it was a great show. Hello, beautiful.
How you doing? Hey, what's up?
Oh man, feeling good. I'm sorry. Hey, feeling good. Glad you in here. So you got brothers, what they say, skinning and grinning.
Yeah, I got a lot of blushing going on tonight. A lot of blushing.
Man, look, all the OGs, boy. I'm talking about Champion Heart, Donald Grant, Terrence Bailey. One of them handing you a mimosa, the other one massaging your feet, and the other one.
Right.
Yeah, she loved being here now. She want to let her hair down. No, yes, Fred. I want to let my hair down in the barbershop. I want to walk to the bathroom so everybody know. Hey, the trunk is full. Hey, DB, she said the trunk is full.
Y'all gonna have me next week. I'm gonna just stand up and sashay back and forth.
Hey, man.
So a couple quick things, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of
read
questions.
The super chat from Triple OG though. So you before you get in your groove.
I'm not in the chat. Hold on.
I'll read it to you. No biggie. Triple OG. Donald.
Wait, are you sure you can read it? I don't want this to turn into an atrocity.
Oh man, how did I screw? Hey, you know what? You know why? I ain't seen the word atrocity in such a long time. So I would just think, what did I say? Aristotle? Who the fuck did I say? What word did I say, Sarge? What word did I say?
You were trying to say, you got me mixed up now. You said atrocity, but you meant something else. Aristocrat?
Aristocrat, and I meant to say atrocity.
Atrocity, okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I'm in the chat now, Fred. Let me go in and get this.
All right, go ahead.
Donald, now the 65-year-old G. Grant sent a $3 holler. He said, y'all the reason I stayed single. Y'all spoiled me. Get him, OG. He talking about you, Sarge.
Yeah, he pretended like he want to get married now. He said he want to come off the shelf, but I think he's just sugar friend.
Sugar friend.
Man, I think, boy, I wish we had like a little a barbershop reality show. Flavor of Love and all of that.
Hey.
We have one, yeah. Let me say the sergeant's patrolman. You know what I mean? And yeah, I had Donald Grant and Champion Heart, and Terrence Bailey. Reggie Owens. Get your cougar on, and then I go ahead and slide in real quick one time just to take you on a few dates. But that was cool. So Jackie Lacey, though, ladies and gentlemen, keep Jackie Lacey. Remember this name. Write it down. Google it.
We're going to run a campaign for 2 weeks. I told you we're going to run a campaign on it, right? 2 weeks in here. We're going to do it.
Keep her out of office. Keep her as far away from management office, city office, and everywhere else. Keep that person out. There was somebody, I haven't seen him before, but his name was toe-to-toe, blow for blow. He said, we have to buy our candidate just like the LGBT bought their candidate. He was referring to Barack Obama. Now, while I'm not into the whole smear campaign, but he's right, though. We have to put money in the pockets of the people that we want to vote. For the people that we want in office. Or we have to start these people from grassroots. We have to get these people from when they're in our community, like the local councilmen and people that are in our communities that we can see and touch and talk to all the time. And then over time, of course, they'll go through mayoralship and Senate and all of that stuff like that. But if we're not growing these people, if we're not cultivating these politicians, If they're not us, if it's not, little Reggie Owens, if it's not Jarvis Johnson,
What's up, Jarvis?
I'm sorry?
I'm just playing background singer. I just said, what's up, JJ? Go ahead.
Oh, right on. But if it's not, JJ's daughter, or you know what I mean, it's not Lil Patty Dean, Peppermint Patty. If it's not one of they youngins, then these people that are already politicians are already 30s and 40s or 50s, so they're already set in their ways, and nothing's gonna change. They'll just be a part of the good old boy system. So we have to have young people, like Sergeant Dorsey said. We have to have people now. And I'm gonna get to my grass youngsters, and I'm gonna tell them that too. I'm like, hey, listen, y'all might have been juveniles and might have records, but that doesn't exclude you from becoming a police officer. You know what I mean? You just have to make sure that you stay on the straight and narrow now. But we need more people that look like us and that think like us, a part of our communities that are now patrolling the streets. So I think we have to make a big push for that now. And I remember when I was in elementary school, they always raise your hand. What do you want to be, right? And all the kids said they want to be a police officer, a fireman, a doctor, and a lawyer. Those are the.
I want to be a motherfucking hustler.
You better ask somebody.
You better ask. But Crenshaw.
But I think we got to get back to that push though, and those are all good professions for our youngsters.
It's the first time that I ever saw it from the perspective of a police officer. When you said earlier, it kind of struck a chord in me when you said that, Sergeant Dorsey. When you said that, that's the best thing they want to hear. That the negative things about the police officers, these white supremacists, that's the best thing they want to hear. It's like, oh yeah, they don't want to be cops. Yeah. Slave patrol. Hey, Champion Hart just beat. Hey, he ain't playing. He putting in the overtime.
Oh, he got my ring size and he want my number in the signed book. Okay.
Oh shit, that's okay. 2 steps ahead of me. Hey, I ain't even got the phone on. We talk on Instagram. So hey, y'all Gucci. Y'all Gucci. Hey, what's up, DB? DB, you just hung up. He didn't pay his phone bill at like midnight. His shit just died.
he turns into a pumpkin.
Oh God, DB, where you go, man? DB never nervous. That's never nervous, DB. Hey, they said another great show. See that they love you, Sergeant Dorsey.
I appreciate you, Eric. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and what else? Someone wanted to name the show. We're gonna get out of here, but someone wanted to name the show. Eric, I mean not Eric. What did he say?
Something like Get Christy Love or something. Sergeant Dorsey Love. I saw that.
Sarge, Flavor of Love, Sergeant. He said something. I gotta find it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, Sergeant Dorsey of Love, something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was. Something. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Man. Yeah, Sarge in charge. Something. We're gonna figure it out though. We're gonna make it happen for you. But now I want to get to you, Sarge, for a second, just to learn 3 or 4 things about you every time we get in here. So I'm gonna finish that off. So
what?
First thing about the Sarge. What's your favorite kind of music?
I like R&B.
Okay. What artists do you like?
Oh, well, I mean, I like a couple. I like Tina Marie. I like Phyllis Hyman. I like Luther. That comes to mind first. Tina Marie, Luther, Phyllis Hyman. Yeah.
Okay. You like moody music. All right. Go ahead with yourself. And when you're chilling and relaxing.
That's foot massage music, but yeah, never mind. Go ahead.
Would you prefer a nice cognac? Would you like some white wine, red wine? What's your drink of choice?
I'm not much of a drinker, but if I had to, I'd say a sweet wine, whatever that, nice. I like Stella, right? The bubbly kind, something sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. And what's the sergeant's favorite color?
I like red, but orange looks better on me.
Okay, so you was patrolling them Hoover streets, huh? Only LA people caught that joke. All right, and last but not least, favorite food?
Ooh, ribeye.
Oh, ribeye, yeah.
Tomahawk, to be specific. What you know about a tomahawk?
Yeah, I like Flemings now.
Yeah.
I don't know what none of those are, but okay. Sounded like it was something. Sounded something like something expensive.
It's $100 steak. That's all. That's all she told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right. So there you go, fellas. Y'all got y'all tips right there. Take notes, play it back, write it down.
So they know what to bring next week, right? I need a bottle of Stella with a tomahawk, and then we in there. Yeah,
Man, they go by,
I'll just be so pliable and just.
they gonna be like Peyton Manning. Omaha. Oh man.
Right on.
Sergeant
All
of
right.
Love Dorsey. Sergeant of Love Dorsey.
Sergeant of Love Dorsey. All right. I can dig that.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that.
So
all right, Fredro, who we got tomorrow?
We got King of Dreams tomorrow. He's coming on tomorrow, man. Mars, he's one of Mars artists, so you know he gonna bless us with some. I'm not sure if Mars is coming on with him, but he'll be on tomorrow. He signed to Mars. Remember he spoke about him when Mars was on. Yeah. So we got one more guest. We have politician coming on next Wednesday, and see, I tailored the guest towards like you. So she's coming. She's dope too. She's real black. She's blackly black. Yeah, and I'll send you her speech the other day. She said these motherfuckers come to me. Shit, they know what time it is. Like she was talking about clickety clack, Apple Jacks. You know what I mean? So you'll you got
2 pounds of pressure. Right? That's all you need. 2 pounds of pressure.
Phone with me, nigga. Don't giggle with me on the phone, nigga. You laugh. You hear me?
Oh no, that was a sarcastic laugh. Somebody right here in front of me. So okay, all right, different from you. I promise you that.
Oh, y'all praying together, huh? Pray. A family that prays together stays together, right? That's what Pastor Usher Deacon 305 say.
He didn't come through tonight, huh?
See this nigga popular, dog. He didn't come through. Hey, a size and a size 7 and a size 7 ring says thank you, Queen. Thank you. Patty D, beautiful as ever, ain't she? Yeah, man. Size 7. Hey.
My sister Patty Dean in the super chat, boy. Patty is just like the Sarge, man. They some beautiful people inside and out. You know, it's not just about the face, man, but I mean the body's something too. But yeah, it's about the face and they got a nice, sweet, soft, tender, and kind hearts. And we like that kind of stuff too sometimes, you know. I mean, you'll cook for us on Sunday.
That's right. It's nice not being the only girl in here, so I'm happy to see my sister Patty.
Patricia was in here too. She comes in here. She comes in here a little bit. The ladies be quiet.
Yeah. All right. Right on, Fred. You got any last words, Sarge? Any last words?
No, family. See you next week. And for those of you who aren't going to be doing anything tomorrow at 6 p.m. East Coast, 3 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to be on with one of my colleagues. This is one of the ones that you guys often ask me about, the good cops. Yeah, he looks like me. He talks like me. And I am just excited to have him on my YouTube channel tomorrow. So stop by, check it out.
And that's tomorrow, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time?
3 p.m. Pacific.
3 o'clock Pacific.
5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern.
And that's on her YouTube channel. So
on my YouTube channel.
Right. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of subscribers. So throughout this, they'll go on over there. J8 was over there earlier. You know what I mean? I saw P Good over there a little bit. That's dope. Y'all go over there and listen to it over there too. Same thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just, she got the bigger room in the house. That's all. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What's up, nigga?
Right on. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, sis, man. We had a real good time with you again. And, for the people that won't see you tomorrow and hear from you tomorrow, we'll catch you in the next 7 days. And until then, Terrence Bailey, thank you. Donald OG, appreciate you. Eric in St. Louis, always my music buddy. Champion Heart E, had him blushing like a 5-year-old in elementary school when you the pretty teacher. Eric Jenkins came in late, but EJ with the super chat, appreciate you. Ronald Haskins, Rob G. Film, we ready for you. A condo, Semi Sam, assalamu alaikum. JJ, Dre's Finest, Near, not Muir, Near. Philip H. and the rest of the family. Peace, salute. Play the song, Fred!
Got you, big homie. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting like a white cop, just waiting to pull the trigger. Just waiting. Yeah, you know I mean? This nigga. This way before. Hey, yeah, you got to put the. Oh, you know what? You got to start, and I should have thought of this as well.
What?
Put Sarge link throughout the show for her YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, we'll do that next Wednesday. I'll have a copy and paste ready. You know what I mean? So we'll do it like that. So Lil 95, it was. Yeah, I know it wasn't funny, but it was the timing of it. I know. Go to bed, nigga. Go to bed. You. Hey, Patty D, DB, what it do? Oh, DB just put it in the chat. He just put your link in the chat.
Oh, cool.
Dave Jack, Acondo, Patty, Lil 95, Dre Finest, Terrence. People Hernandez gave us 5 mics, but hey, we gonna sing this shit together. You know the song yet, Sarge?
No, and you don't want to hear me sing. Trust me. I do the dance of 1,000 nights, though.
It's only what you do.
Hey. OGE, King Israel. Hey, Triple OG. You should have beamed in. Hey, when Triple G wants son, he'll beam in. I'll tell you that right now. Philip H, KF Harris, Patty Dean back in the son of a gun, man. We appreciate you, Dave Jack. Patricia, tell your daughter we said hello. Dre's Finest, what up? Hey, Trey, I saw you in here earlier. I'm going to email him for sure. And I might as well go up there because it's on 41st and Crenshaw just for kicks, right? Can I just go up there as well? It's on 41st, you know?
Yeah, I mean, go, but right.
I'm writing for sure. And I'm put them all 10 people in the email, right? And just say, hey, did you get this email? Yeah, I damn sure will. You know what I mean? Yeah.
G.
Learn to develop patience,
Determined to be the greatest, yeah.